Didn't have myself unmuted there. And we are live. Welcome to Stream of Thoughts, where I stream thoughts. My thoughts. No one else's. An interesting topic this time around. Once again, kind of those, kind of context type stream of thoughts. There's probably going to be a fair amount of those since kind of what I want to talk, well, just so I could kind of conclude and wrap up at all the loose ends and any curiosities and whatnot. Uh, oh yeah. So this time around, we're talking about creativity. But actually, before that, the administrative things. At this point in time, this is a weird decision by me. I'm not sure how it'll stick, how it'll last, but I'm trying to do Stream of Thoughts in a private mode instead, as a private stream. Because, well, I wanted the stream concept to be just so everything is kind of all there all at once, kind of everything's spontaneous, everything's, how should I say, Freudian? Almost, what's it, free association, that's it. No, not quite free association, but similar. So, yeah, I wanted to do the stream private because, well, first off, it's still that live element where I'm still trying to do things, but I also don't need to broadcast it in real time to an audience. So, thus, I'm doing this as a private stream and then just releasing it immediately. And, well, making it public immediately. Just so, you know, there isn't, well, hopefully, depending on how things go, maybe maybe one thing I see in the future doing is reflecting with an audience, see what they like, get feedback, what they'd like to see better, things like that. That'd be an interesting thing, though that's not likely to happen based on how I've been running the channel. Statistically, YouTube just disfavors what I'm doing for the sake of content creation, but I'm not here making content. Half truth. So yeah, that's why it's in private mode, but will be released publicly. So it gets both of my, well, it gets two checks off. Because it would also be awkward if somebody, say, expects to come here and get something entirely weird and different. But maybe one day, or maybe not. Anyways, yeah, I think that's all the announcements. So I guess without further ado, let's talk about it. Creativity. Such a vague but desired concept. The kind of trait that people like. Kind of people like, but they don't really know how to find it, how to get it, what it means, things like that. And so when I put up the channel, probably one of the big things I wanted to show was, well, creativity. It's not really something you could easily show on a piece of paper, as I've said probably many times before. And it's not really something you can, well, I guess you could get it from someone secondhand, but there isn't really, yeah, there isn't. There isn't an IQ test for creativity, I guess would be a creative way of saying it. No, that wasn't intentional. But yeah, so I guess what I'm here to talk about is kind of what it means to be creative here on the channel. And first off, I'm gonna start off, is this type of creative isn't really a creative that's seen often, well, just as part of a social view. Usually when we think of something creative, is often now conceived to be, innovative, new, kind of setting, going where no man has gone before, so to speak. Making new discoveries, making new discoveries and or trying out new things that haven't been conceived of yet. And that's generally the kind of things that, well, we as a social audience kind of find creative. Now, does someone who's actually taken a course on creativity? Yeah. Well, all creativity really is kind of the combination of two concepts or multiple concepts to push, well, and create something, air quotes, new. And sure, that does line up with what I said previously, but a lot of things in my channel aren't new. They aren't really, well, yeah, they aren't really innovative. They aren't groundbreaking, so to speak. I'm not exactly gonna be known for being, say, a pioneer for doing whatever. I mean, all I did was do what a lot of people do. Make a YouTube channel, make videos about gaming. Really, not surface level. I mean, not really creative at all. But, well, why I wanted to talk about this is because this is the thought behind the channel is still creative, despite what I've told you, despite, how I've laid it out to be. And so, kind of the way that this channel and me, how I'm creative by extension, is kind of a bit unconventional, but it's this sense of being resourceful. I've mentioned about combining multiple objects, or combining multiple concepts to create something, air quotes, new. And it's kind of what I did to the channel. Kind of what I've done with a lot of projects of mine. Nothing's new here, but a lot of things I've done are really the main way I've been creative is just being resourceful. I used YouTube, a video sharing platform, rather than use it for content. I used it for kind of, well, as a showcase, as a video log, as I like to say. I don't want to say vlog because, well, that's already defined as something else. But it's a video log of development progress. It's, well, it's a show skill display of who I am. And that's kind of what I mean. So, really, I guess I'll cover more examples soon in the future, but a lot of how I want to define this creativity is about using what I have to my advantage. I said being resourceful, and that pretty much sums it up there. Now, as I said, well, I'll just say this again because it's been a long time since I said this. Starting out this channel, I have had minimal investments into this so-called project. And I didn't aim to have any. I didn't really aim to invest in it. So a lot of what I did are, well, things that were kind of around or things that were given to me. And pretty much me learning the ins and outs of each single individual aspect, individual part of the video production cycle or project making, and it's me trying to optimize it, try to use it, use it to create something. For the third time. It's not new. It's not groundbreaking. You could see dozens of videos that do it a lot better than I do. People who have access to higher quality things, big production things, things that require a lot of investment. I don't have that. But what I do have is, well, resourcefulness. And, well, yeah. So basically my goal in, well, this process is to basically look at the tools I have and examine them, learn from them. Try to find an optimized use for them. Try to put them in, well, the best light possible. So, for instance, here we go. Now I get into some examples. So once again, YouTube. Using YouTube as a first-hand showcase of what I do. See, I've also used other things. I've used PowerPoint a fair amount of times. Maybe twice actually, come to think of it. Might have been for other things. I mean, using PowerPoint to portray myself. I mean, it's an odd one. But over time, it was me learning how to use it better. How to use it in a bit more unconventional senses that aren't just, presentation. Even though I have used it for presentation, but even then, even still, it's not quite the standard PowerPoint presentation that one is used to. I'll bring forth my representation, where those are kind of my bog standard presentations. It's not really a presentation that you're used to. It's a performance. And that's exactly what I aim to do with a lot of my presentations, especially if it's, well, academic or whatever else. It's a lot of fun. Well, I want them to be fun. I want them to be enjoyable. Because, well, anyone can make some old PowerPoint. But it takes a lot of extra work and effort to just, well, make it beyond what it is. And that's exactly what I aim to do. That's what it means to be creative. To kind of take something and use it to its fullest potential. Next, let's see, I also talk about, for instance, OBS. Of course, I've learned how to use OBS as a general recorder, and I might not even be able to learn the full depths of which it could do things at. But even so, probably one of the big coolest things I did with OBS is to try to recreate what I do in editing. I think I did this in a few Whitworks. In a lot of Whitworks actually. Where basically the entire video is just unedited. And yet there are still aspects of it there that make it feel like it's edited. So, the big one is just transitions. Those are just me switching between separate screens. And then the fade out at the end is just general fade out. And thus I could create the illusion of creating a video with, well, saving a bit of time in the editing space, but kind of replicating that aspect into OBS. And thus, technically, theoretically speaking, I could then integrate that into, say, a live stream setting, where it might look like a video. I don't know where yet I would implement that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a handy aspect of it quite yet. I'll come across that bridge when I get there, but yeah. I guess to bring it back, once again, OBS, just a free software. There are probably better programs out there meant to do these things better, in a more cooler, flashier way, but really, there's nothing I could, well, this is, if I could show that this is the kind of stuff that I could do with a basic free system, then, well, there's what goes to show that kind of aspect of creativity. I put here in my notes, what's the purpose of a better tool if you can't use an older tool in the first place? And it's kind of my mantra. Well, it's not mantra, but I don't know, something I've been thinking about where, you know, sure, you could have access to the best things. Anyone could have access to the best programs or, I don't know, programs or accessories or tools. But in the hands of someone who's unexperienced, it would mean nothing. As opposed to someone who's well experienced with a tool product that's not the greatest. Well, I'm not saying that the things I use aren't great, but they're able to take advantage. They're able to, you know, use whatever they have to the fullest. And to an extent, that can be better than an inexperienced person having access to a better tool. Whew. That was a good talk. But I guess you want another example of this, because this kind of segues into what I aim on doing next, hopefully next week. I hope I could do it next week, because it is kind of important that I get it done by then, but Minecraft would be my final example. I mean, for starters, yeah, it's just a game about, well, it could be a fair amount of things. A lot of people have done a lot of things with it. But Minecraft is a game about survival, but it's also a game about creativity and building things. So a lot of people have posted online about building structures or various maps, maybe some recreations. I mean, I guess technically I could. Recreations, things like that. My recent music cover is, once again, something that people have done already, something people have done a lot better with. But now I hopefully aim to use it as a medium in a way I've used it before, and that is kind of in the presentation performance, where I want to showcase using it as for an educated means. And so that'll be a very interesting thing. Yeah. Something interesting I want to try and see if it turns out alright. If not, once again, no worries. it just won't mean much to anybody, which honestly I hope it doesn't. I believe that is everything I want to talk about, and we just hit the 20-minute mark. But yeah. So built segue, well, final transition. So I've already said this, but the Minecraft thing, well, or hopefully I'll be making, you know, a presentation showcase of using music in Minecraft and how you can do that from an educative tool. So that will be very fun to see. Well, very fun to see how it plays out, especially if it plays out for the better. I know based on general demographics on things, a lot of new people show up to see, you know, a random video I do, depending on what it is. And so, you know, I hope I get some curious people looking into that video as well, if I could pull it off by next Thursday. If not, well, the Thursday after. Oh. Oh yeah, one more thing. Just since this is technically on the week thing, and this is done about creativity, I might start uploading stream VODs onto the channel, just because I've kept them. I know technically Hollow Knight has a series, but I've been doing random one-offs on Thursdays, and I've saved them. Or a lot of them. I might post them in order for someone to actually view progress in real time, I guess I would say. Where I'm actually doing things that... Because technically, a lot of what I'm doing is pre-recorded far into the future. I believe Hollow Knight is where we are in Hollow Knight. That stream was about a month ago, and I stream it every single week, so it's very far behind. I figured, you know, maybe make a recent progress check by uploading some recent VODs. I might just do that and put him up maybe Fridays. I'll figure it out. Or maybe I'll put it in as the Wednesday. Okay, that's it from me. Hopefully I've said everything I wanted to, everything I need to, but if not, no worries. There's always another time and another place. Oh wow, just when the song finished too. I guess I'll wrap things up there. Been fun. Good talk. I really felt like, I really feel like I nailed that talk. Well, enough of that. I could celebrate on my own later. But for now, how do we end these things off? Maybe a nice idea.